For 32 years my affair was a hidden thrill, but unexpected news transformed it into a burden of guilt, leading me to confront the consequences of a lifetime of choices. Chapter 6. 32 years of having an affair becomes 32 years of guilt after some unexpected news. Life, as I've come to learn, is a masterful storyteller, weaving tales of joy and sorrow with a hand that never trembles. For 32 years I lived a story that was more fiction than reality, a tale of love and betrayal, of passion and guilt. When I received that message from James, my heart was a tumult of emotions. After leaving Michael, I was like a ship adrift in a stormy sea, battered by waves of regret and uncertainty. And now James, the man who had once been my anchor, was reaching out to me again. I agreed to meet him, a decision that felt like stepping back into a past I had tried to leave behind. We chose a quiet cafe, a place devoid of memories of our previous encounters. When I saw him, something in my chest tightened. He was older, the lines on his face deeper, but his eyes still held that familiar spark. "Ellie," he began, his voice laced with a nervous energy. "I've been meaning to tell you something. Something important." I braced myself, expecting declarations of undying love or plans for a future together. But what he said next was something I could never have anticipated. "Ellie, I'm sick. The doctors, they say I don't have much time left." The world around me seemed to freeze. James, the embodiment of passion and vitality, was now facing his mortality. The news hit me like a physical blow, leaving me breathless. We talked for hours, about his illness, about the years we had spent apart, and about the love that had never really faded. But as he spoke, a profound sense of guilt washed over me. For 32 years, I had indulged in an affair that now seemed so trivial in the face of life's ultimate finality. James, ever the optimist, tried to lighten the mood. "Hey, we had some good times, didn't we?" he said with a wistful smile. But the smile didn't reach his eyes, which were filled with a sadness that mirrored my own. As we parted that day, a part of me knew it would be the last time I would see him. The final chapter of our illicit love story was drawing to a close, and there was no happy ending in sight. In the weeks that followed, I was haunted by memories of our time together. Each stolen moment, each secret rendezvous, now seemed like a thread in a tapestry of deceit. My affair with James, once a source of exhilarating escape, had become a source of profound guilt. I tried to immerse myself in my newfound freedom, but the freedom tasted bitter. I had left my husband for a chance to find myself, but all I found was a deepening sense of loneliness and regret. Then, one rainy afternoon, as I sat in my quiet, empty apartment, the phone rang. It was James's number, but the voice on the other end was not his. It was his wife, a woman I had never met, but who had been an invisible presence in our affair. "Ellie, James passed away last night," she said, her voice steady but heavy with grief. "He wanted you to know." The news of his death was a crushing blow, the final nail in the coffin of my guilt. For 32 years I had lived a lie, and now the man I had shared that lie with was gone, leaving me alone with the weight of our shared sins. In the days that followed, I attended James's funeral, a silent observer in the back row. Watching his wife and children, a family shattered by loss, I realized the full impact of our actions. We had not only betrayed our spouses, but also ourselves. As I stood by his grave, the rain mingling with my tears, I felt a deep sense of remorse. James and I had shared a love that was passionate, yes, but it was also selfish and destructive. And now, I was left with the memories and the consequences. The weeks turned into months, and I found myself drifting through life, a ghost haunted by the past. The affair had left a void in my heart, one that could not be filled with empty freedoms or newfound solitude. One day, as I walked through the park, I passed by the bench where Michael and I had decided to part ways. I sat down, lost in thought. Our marriage, flawed and imperfect, had been real, grounded in shared dreams and struggles. But the affair with James, it was like a dream, a fantasy that had crumbled under the harsh light of reality. Sitting there, amid the falling leaves, I made a decision. It was time to face the truth, to confront the consequences of my choices. I had lived in the shadows for too long, and it was time to step into the light, however harsh it might be. As I walked away from the park, a sense of determination settled in my heart. The road ahead was uncertain, filled with challenges and possibly more heartache. But it was a road I had to walk, a journey I had to undertake to find redemption and, perhaps, a chance at true happiness. I didn't know what the future held, but I knew one thing for certain. My story was far from over. It was a new beginning, a chance to right the wrongs and to learn from the past. And as I took those first steps towards a new chapter, I felt a glimmer of hope, a faint light in the darkness of my guilt.